time to talk about the wrestling collection. Brother! Guys, welcome back to the Gaming Armadillo. Today we're going to talk about the wrestling collection. Like I told you guys in my last video, I'm a huge wrestling mark, going back to the days of the Attitude Era between WCW and WWE, the Monday Night Wars. I was about 10 years old when I started watching wrestling. My first match that I ever watched was The Undertaker versus Mankind in Hell in a Cell, 1998. And from that point on, I haven't stopped. I mean, of course, the product sometimes it's not up to par. You know, the whole PG thing kind of took a step back. I understand why they did it. I don't have an issue with it now, but as a fan, sometimes I'm like, man, why can't we relive those Attitude Era days? But with any event, let's go ahead and review Let's see the collection. We're gonna start off with the big obvious thing on the table. This is the big gold belt. This dated back to WCW. Ric Flair held this belt along with Harley Race, Booker T. I think it was the last WCW champion when WWE bought the company. This represents a lot of history. This is the only replica belt that I actually own right now. I'm hoping to add more later on in the future. But let's take a look at it. As you can see, it's probably as big as my head, the center plate here. I decided not to put a name on here just because I just don't want this belt to represent just one. I want it to represent the legacy of all the greats that have held this title. If you can see, you can open it up. The huge size of this title belt. I mean, literally, I think it's fantastic. When I go to wrestling events, I tend to take it. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable because you got to hold the thing and you're trying to sit down, trying to stand up, you're hitting people on the side. But other than that, it's a great little piece of history that I have, and I'm very proud to actually own here. So that's the big gold belt. Let's tie it up back. Just put it right here on display for your viewing pleasure. By the way, guys, if you guys want to talk about wrestling, just leave me a comment down below. Let's start talking. What do you guys think about today's product? By the way, I want to congratulate AJ Styles for retaining the title last night at No Mercy. That was a great match. I still think the John Cena and AJ Styles match at SummerSlam was the best that I've seen John Cena have in a long time. AJ Styles makes everybody look good. So we'll start off by there. Some Blu-rays we're going to get to later on. Next up, guys, is the Funko Pop figures that I have here. So far, I only have 3 of the Funko Pops for WWE or wrestling in general. We have the Undertaker Funko Pop. If you guys just want to check that out, I don't know if the camera's there focusing on it or not. I try to keep all my action figures in the box unless it's something I can display. Right now, I don't live in a house where I have an extra room to display my collection. But hopefully next year, guys, if you guys subscribe to my channel, you'll see when I buy my home, when I start up building the room, if I have an extra room to have this collection, I can display it for you guys. I also have here one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I know he's not the most technical wrestler in the world, but he's the most entertaining in my view. He can always come back and he'll reinvent himself, or people just can have a connection to him. And that's The Rock right here. See his Funko Pop. If you guys notice, I have his jersey way back when he wore it in about 2000, I think it was, 1999. And of course, we have Hulkamania is running wild, brother, right here on the Funko Pop. I mean, listen, guys, I don't care what Hulk Hogan said. Everybody says things out of character at times, and I still think Hulk Hogan is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, or one of the greatest personalities. Without Hogan, we wouldn't have the wrestling that we have today. So, big props to the Hulkster here for his Funko Pop. Guys, this one might be a little rare to get now. I don't know if FYE still holds them or not. Most of these I have gotten in FYE. If you guys have one locally, go ahead and check them out. Sometimes they have like buy one and get one 50% off. If you guys are into the Funko Popping collecting. Alright, this channel is called the Gaming Armadillo. So let's go ahead and check out some of the games that I own. Now this ranges from the Nintendo 64 era all the way up to current times. So let's start off with one of the oldest games that I have. For my collection at least. and that's WWF Warzone. This was published by Acclaim Sports back in the day. I think this came out in 1998. I'm sorry. The game is not all that great. I mean, for a nostalgia run, you go ahead and you play. I don't like the controls on this thing. I think it's too difficult to pull out moves. You gotta put like up, right, and triangle or something like that. But if you want to go back to nostalgia, go ahead and check this game out. Now here's the box. My box is not the greatest right now. Just the back there. Stone Cold has a little fake eye patch. This was one of my favorite wrestling titles on the N64, and that's WCW NWO Revenge. I remember back when I was a kid, me and my brother used to play this all the time, and then my brother would always rage quit. Had many of a broken controller back in those days. You know, this game didn't have any entrance music for the wrestlers. They were all very generic, but it was just that feeling that you can get. You can choose DDP, Raven, you can use the NWO, you can use Sting, and just go out there and kick some ass, man. So here's the front of the box here. There's that back of the box. You know, this game fairly goes cheap on eBay. You probably find this for about $15, you know, boxed. Now, of course, when the WCW and WWE were going head-to-head, or WWF back in those days, I always had a special place for the WWF. I mean, I liked WCW until the infamous Poke of Doom, when Hogan poked Kevin Nash and won the big gold from him. From there on, I was just turned off to the idea of WCW. I think their booking sucked after that, and it just went down the drain. But no, when that happened, WWF just took off, man. You know, you had Mankind that became WWE champion. You had Stone Cold. You had The Rock. You had all those great guys back in that era. And this game represents them very well. WWF WrestleMania 2000. This game was a step up from WCW NWO Revenge. THQ actually was the one that published this game as well. I think WCW lost their license to publish games, and WWF went ahead and took over. Wrestlers had their entrance music. They had entrances actually to go to the ring. You see like X-Pac doing the DX sign, Stone Cold, and all four ropes. And the gameplay was just amazing. I mean, if you like WCW NWO Revenge, you're gonna love this game here. You have WWF WrestleMania 2000. And guys, you know what? I think I have an extra copy of this one in the box. So let's do something. If this video can get about 300 likes, I'm gonna go ahead and get a contest going to see if we can give away that copy. So remember, just subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and tell me what you think. Remember, WrestleMania 2000 box is going to be on the line. Now, next up, I think that out of all the wrestling games on the N64, this to me was the best one, hands down. You had cage matches, you had ladder matches, you had the Hardys, Edge and Christian, you had Dudleys. Who didn't like doing a double team 3D on some of their opponents on this game? And that's WWF No Mercy. I think even up to this day, this game is one of the greatest wrestling games of all time. Of course, you had all the wrestlers there. You had Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock, you had DX, you had the Dudleys that came over from ECW, you had Edge and Christian, you had the Hardys. You know, if you want to relive all those classic matches in 32-bit form, or 64-bit form, I say, go ahead and pick WWF No Mercy up. It's about $10 right now on eBay. Or if you can go ahead and find it in the wild. I mean, I know it's difficult right now with N64 games, but I think that's going to be pretty good for your collection, I might say. I also have a bonus one. This one I've never played, just because my first wrestling game in general was WCW NWO Revenge. But it was published by THQ, so I'm guessing it's a good game as well. And that's WCW NWO Revenge. I mean, WCW NWO World Tour. Similar to WCW Revenge, I think I've never really played this, like I said before. But I might go ahead and take a shot at it one of these days. Maybe do some gameplay on it. Who knows? What do you guys think? Alright guys, so right now we're gonna move to the PS2 era of wrestling games. WWF, Just Bring It. When this came out, the graphics I thought were amazing at the time. I didn't own this one particularly when I was a kid. I had a friend who had it, but he would come over all the time and we'd play the story mode, and it's about, I think it's about 5 matches, not even all that long. But you had all the entrance music, you had CD quality music coming through, which was amazing at the time. I think you had the American Badass Undertaker in this game, which was one of my favorite characters, besides The Rock back then. You had Kurt Angle, you had Stone Cold. Very fast-paced arcade-style gameplay. I preferably like that gameplay better than the simulative style that we have today. Even though graphics are great and the presentation is beautiful, I just think that the arcade style of these earlier games is much more fun and compelling to at least to me. Next up, I think the best PS2 wrestling game, that's SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. This was the debut, not the debut, I'm sorry. Goldberg was in this game. This was his debut in wrestling games, and he wouldn't be in another wrestling game until WWE 2K14. Again, this is fast-paced. I think they slowed down the mechanics just a little bit, but we had blood in this game. We had the Elimination Chamber, which I think debuted in this game as well. We had the American Badass Undertaker. We had Divas matches. Divas matches I didn't care for. They had that Braun panty stuff going on back then. I didn't really care for that. Only on TV. I think those matches were at least eye candy for me. Cheap game. You can probably get this for about $10 on eBay. But if you guys want to go back into the era where wrestling was great, pick it up, man. It's real good. The follow-up sequel to that was SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 on the PS2. This was great. I mean, it's not that much different than this. Most of the same characters come back except for Goldberg, I think. I think this is a sequel to SmackDown vs. Raw. I'm sorry. But it's a good game. I haven't played it in a while. I remember the storyline though. Stone Cold was the general manager. He sends you to beat up all the legends or something like that. So that was great. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Now this is not a wrestling game from WWE or TNA or anything like that. But I think it's a cheesy one at best. That's Celebrity Deathmatch here. Pretty quirky game, I might say. You can pick all these sorts of celebrities. You can pick like Carrot Top and he'll throw carrots at you and whatnot. If you like quirkiness and over the top moves and what have you, go ahead and pick this one up. It's actually really entertaining. Now this came from a recommendation from AJ Styles, actually. He says this is one of his favorite pro wrestling games of all time, and that's Fire Pro Wrestling. I picked this up at a flea market. It cost me $3. I haven't checked it out yet. I haven't really had time to. But once I do, I'm sure it's great. It has all these other wrestlers. It has like Roddy Piper, has Hogan in it. All these characters from the 80s and 90s, man. So I'm going to go ahead and check this out. I'll let you guys know what I think. Alright, so we got these things out of the way here. Now we're going to go into the Xbox 360 era and PS3 of video games. Right here, we're going to start off with SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Now, this is a GameStop special edition that I bought back when it came out. So we're going to go ahead and take it out here. It comes in this nice tin cover. Now, this game came with the core game. It came with a trivia book that I have. I've never used. I've always kept it in this condition. Right there. No markings or anything. And this game also came with a DVD. But here's the actual game case. Okay. You can open it up here. Case and manual. Don't you guys miss these manuals for these newer games, man? And it came out with this. History of the WWE Championship. It's a pretty good DVD, but this is one disc out of 3 that came out for this set. So if you guys want to go ahead and pick this up, if you guys have an FYE near you, these wrestling DVDs are cheap. I'm gonna actually show an example here later on that I got a Blu-ray for about $3, and it's a 2-disc set. So go to your local FYE and see if they have it. That's WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Great gameplay. The story, I didn't care much for the story, to be honest with you. I'm not a very good creative wrestler type guy. I'm not very creative when it comes to those game modes. But either way, fun gameplay. When it came out, it was amazing. Next up, follow up to that, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 featuring ECW. You know, when it says featuring ECW, that's that remake that they did with ECW. It wasn't the original hardcore style in the ballroom or anything like that. I mean, it's a good game. They introduced these new specific features for each character. Like one of them would be hardcore or high flying, or you can do like dirty pins on them and whatnot. My edition here actually came with the bonus DVD inside. So you have here the core game, you have the manual. And it came with this exclusive bonus disc. Shows you the making of the game. SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, guys. Go ahead and check it out. This game actually revolutionized the tag team mode in the wrestling games. And that's SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. This game brought back DX, which, if you guys remember back when 2007, when Shawn Michaels and Triple H reunited, that was like the big thing. Everything was DX. So they went ahead, they came out with this game, and you see Triple H and Shawn Michaels are the cover artists there, or the cover superstars rather. The tag team gameplay is great. This is the game they introduced, that Road to WrestleMania mode, which is a wrestling mode for each storyline for each character, per se. It was good. I like the Triple H story because you can choose between going to Evolution or going to D-Generation X. CM Punk is on here too. His story was okay. It was in that revolutionized DCW that they did back in the day or whatnot. The Hardy Boys are in this game. Again, with that whole tag team overhaul that they did, it's good to play as them. And I also have the manual and game and this little card that unlocks 5 other characters in the game. Now, guys, remember, all these games that I'm showing you here is games that I've bought. I've taken really good care of them. Some of them I bought them on launch day. Some of them I bought them later on, which is with this next example, which is WWE Legends of WrestleMania. This game, oh, there goes Fire Pro Wrestling. This game, the concept, the idea was great, I think. But the execution was not. I don't like the gameplay in this. I think it's slow. I think it's not the same as these other THQ titles. The gameplay was just awful, I think. I did not enjoy it whatsoever. It did have a cool feature, however, that, let's say you had this game, because this game came out some months later after 2009 came out. 2009 had no Legends whatsoever. That's why they brought this out. So if you had this game, you can actually import all the characters from this 2009 onto here and have a massive roster, and you can go to each WrestleMania stage and fight legends. But I mean, for the gameplay, the gameplay to me, it's just a big turnoff. I just have this for nostalgic reasons. Like I said, I mean, I love WrestleMania and all the cover artists here, man, they're great. But gameplay wise, I probably won't play this for a long time unless you guys want to see a gameplay of it. Next to that is SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. Now this game is interesting. This game introduced a whole creative story. So it gave you cutscenes, it gave you dialogue. I created a story on here. I don't remember if my Xbox saved it. I think it crashed at one point. But I made a story with The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, and it actually came true at WrestleMania 25, I think it was. Good game, solid gameplay. Same THQ type of scheme. The thing with this is just that creative story. So if you guys are creative, you can pick this one up and create your own modes. Now, after SmackDown 2010. I bought a PS3. I bought a PS3 late in this lifespan. And I decided, you know what, I don't have any wrestling games for that, so let me just go ahead and start playing games on the PS3. And my first PS3 wrestling game was SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. This game, see, I don't know. The graphics on this looks like it decreased in value from 2010. It at least, I don't know if it's me or if it's just, you know, the way I saw the game. But this game, you were able to grab your opponent and move. Like, let's say you had a table here and you were doing a suplex here. You can actually turn the superstar so you can crash onto the table. And then they had this new physics overhaul. Like, the story had the same, the Road to WrestleMania. I don't remember what characters were for the Road to WrestleMania. But, I mean, it was a great game. I haven't played it in a while, but these games are cheap now, guys. Go ahead and pick them up while you can. WWE 12 was a total overhaul from 2010. Presentation-wise, now you had the Minitrons when Superstars came out. WCW was actually interjected into the storyline in this way, which I thought was great. You know, Triple H at the end became like a 17-time world champion and he retired. I mean, who wouldn't want to retire like that? But you had like WCW invading WWE, and you know, this was actually a solid storyline. So if you guys want to go ahead and check this out just for the story, go ahead. Now, this is my second favorite PS3, Xbox 360 WWE game, and that's WWE 13. This game, well, there goes the game. This game introduced the Attitude Era as a story mode. So when I heard that, I freaking jumped. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be able to relive the Attitude Era. You know, so you had Stone Cold, you had DX, you had Triple H, you had The Rock. All these guys reliving your favorite moments of the Attitude Era. So you'll have cutscenes, you can unlock video packages. I mean, it's great, man. And the downloadable superstar for this was Brock Lesnar. And long and behold, after WrestleMania 28, the next night, Brock Lesnar debuted, and he beat up John Cena, and he took him to school, man. So hey, WWE 13, pick it up. It's good stuff. My favorite PS3 wrestling title was WWE 14. This game had the it wasn't Road to WrestleMania anymore. It was well, actually it was called 30 Years of WrestleMania. So basically, you played one match from each WrestleMania up to this point. I think it was WrestleMania 30. It was so great to see like Hogan in this game and Andre the Giant, and you know, have that epic match that Rock had with Hogan on here. It's a great game. If you guys want to go ahead and pick this one up, and actually, this cover is actually pretty cool because you can change it up to Daniel Bryan. Which back, you know, Danny Bryan is still the hottest thing that WWE has. Coincidentally, now he's the general manager of SmackDown. It's a shame that he can't wrestle again. I mean, I understand. I know that he's been arguing with his wife about returning and this and that. But I think it's just for his safety, guys. I mean, if a superstar can't compete anymore, due to injury, I'd rather not see them compete. It's like everybody wants to see Stone Cold back in some capacity. But the guy already has a neck injury. That, you know, he's cool right now. I'd rather see him in the Stone Cold podcast talking all this trash to the other superstars than actually see him in the ring and get hurt. All right, now we're done with the game portion of this video. Now we're gonna go to my DVD and Blu-ray collection, which, you know, guys, I started pulling this out of the closet, and I didn't think I had all that many, and long and behold, I have a bunch. But now with the WWE Network, I don't have to buy any more DVDs or Blu-rays anymore unless it's something that I really want. The WrestleManias, I try to collect. I haven't bought one since WrestleMania 29. But now with the network, you can watch anything. And remember, guys, it's only $9.99, and you get all the pay-per-views. WWE, I hope you're watching. All right. First DVD, it's Rob Van Dam, One of a Kind. A cool DVD. It's about his documentary and whatnot. There's a few matches on here. Go ahead and open it up here. Pretty cool. It has 2 discs. I bought this at Movie Stop. I think it was about $4.99 when I bought it. Royal Rumble. believe this was 2003. I think. Yep. Yep. January 19th, 2003. Got Triple H on the cover there. This is when Scott Steiner was in the Royal Rumble, or he debuted, I think. Open it up. This is a random DVD that I found at FYE. Again, guys, I don't get paid by FYE. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just go there a lot to pick up DVDs if I can. This is called WWE Legendary Moments, chosen by host John Cena. Pretty good. I mean, I only saw it once. It was decent. This documentary, however, it's pretty freaking cool, guys. The Rise and Fall of WCW. This disc right here will talk to you about how WCW started, who owned it. Like Jim Crockett Promotions was bought, turned into WCW. You know, they wrestled in the MGM, and then slowly became this big company that competed with WWE. Almost took them out of business. If you guys want to check this out, I highly recommend this. I think this is a 3-disc set. If I'm not mistaken, this is the inside. Okay. 3 discs, right there. Rise and Fall of WCW. One of my favorite DVDs, of my favorite superstars, The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment. Another 3-disc set. Features The Rock's matches. Some of The Rock's promos. I really wish they would have put more promos in here. Because that's what The Rock is known for. Talking trash. All his promos are great. There's not one that I remember that's bad. Here you have Backlash 2003. Goldberg versus The Rock. Goldberg got booed out of the building when he debuted here. The Rock got cheered. This is a face turn for him because back then, if you remember, he was a heel. Great heel. I mean, I tend to lean myself more towards the heels than I do the baby faces. Just because when wrestlers are baby faces, man, they lose their touch with the fans. Like, they do all this baby, they smile, and they really don't do much for me to say, oh, man, you know what, that guy's the man. I tend to lean more towards heels. Here we have Edge, A Decade of Decadence. This is just a compilation disc of all his matches, or at least some of his good matches, hosted by Edge. I think this is also a 3-disc set. One of my favorite ECW branded WWE pay-per-views. ECW One Night Stand. This is the way ECW should have been branded, I think. Go back to this. It wasn't over the top violent. There was great wrestling on here. The ending was great, I think. If you guys want to see a truly good WWE produced ECW pay-per-view, check this one out. I got here Hardy Boys Leap of Faith. Guys, if you see there's a weird cover on here, okay, it's because this is a copy disc that I was given. Okay, and I made the artwork for it. I just copied it off the internet back when I was, I think, 17 years old. I've had this for a long time. But you can't go wrong, man. Hardy Boys Leap of Faith. Best of Raw and Best of Raw's War, Volume 1 and 2. This is great. Bunch of promos on here, bunch of matches from the Attitude Era. 2-disc set. I actually got this on eBay. I paid $20 for this. This is not produced anymore. It's really hard to find. Got Jeff Hardy, My Life, My Rules. This is a DVD that was produced right before he left WWE. He actually became WWE champion at the end of this DVD. From you can tell, this is a 3-disc set. Disc. I'm not saying dick. Disc. Awesome. Got all these DVDs here are great, man. Now these are in no particular order whatsoever. WrestleMania 22. Also a 3-disc set. This has the Hall of Fame ceremony in here as well. These DVDs tended to include that as well. I'm going to start going a little faster, guys. I know I'm dragging this along, but I just want to show you guys how big of a fan of wrestling I am. You got SummerSlam here. Main event was The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus Triple H, with that whole love angle they had for the WWF title. This is another one of my creations, one of my bootlegs, as you want to call it. WWF Vengeance. This is the pay-per-view where Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night. You stupid idiot! WWF No Mercy. This is the pay-per-view where Kurt Angle took on The Rock. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Wow. No, the main event was a triple threat match for the WWF title. Stone Cold versus Rob Van Dam versus Kurt Angle. This is during the whole invasion angle. And then the WCW championship was The Rock versus Chris Jericho. DX Vengeance. This is where D-Generation X reunited and they took on the Spirit Squad. Dolph Ziggler was in this, and he was a cheerleader. Another great pay-per-view, which John Cena was almost booed. Well, he was completely booed out of the building. And there was an infinite sign that said, "If Cena wins, we riot." ECW One Night Stand 2006. If you guys remember correctly, this is when Rob Van Dam had won the Money in the Bank contract. And he says, "Listen, I'm not going to run in. I'm not going to cash it in. I'm not going to take advantage of you. I'm going to go ahead and cash in my briefcase at One Night Stand in front of the ECW crowd." And if you guys see that main event, it was crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy stuff. Now here I have WrestleMania Volume 4, the complete anthology, 2000 to 2004. So this one right here, I believe it includes WrestleMania 2000, WrestleMania 17, 18, 19, and 20. Great history, great. The discs here don't have cover arts per se, but right on top, it tells you which WrestleMania it is. Pretty nice. I mean, now with the WWE Network, like I said, you can catch all these WrestleManias in HD. No Way Out 2003. This pay-per-view saw The Rock versus Hogan 2, which in my opinion wasn't all that much of a great match. You had the return of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is when he decided to take his ball and go home. Well, 6 months later, he returned to the company and he faced off against Eric Bischoff. Total, Eric Bischoff practically jobbed to Stone Cold here. This is a great DVD if you guys like Shawn Michaels. From the vault, Shawn Michaels. It has a bunch of his matches on here. It's a 2-disc set. Great DVD. One of my personal Rock DVDs of all time. The Rock, Just Bring It. Has a bunch of promos on here on disc 2. This is right before The Rock decided to go to Hollywood full time. Great promos on here, guys. Check it out if you can. Rey Mysterio, 619. One of those bootleg Blu-rays DVDs that I had that I made, whatnot. It's okay. It's a documentary on Rey Mysterio. This is a good one to have. The Best of Raw 15th anniversary. So right here you have a bunch of segments, a bunch of promos, a bunch of matches from the beginning of Monday Night Raw to I think it was till 2008. And you see this has a lenticular cover on it. Solid stuff. John Cena, My Life. Pretty cool documentary on John Cena. I mean, I don't hate John Cena. I just don't like his character. I understand why they don't turn him heel. There's a bunch of kids that depend on John Cena, and he does all the Make-A-Wish stuff, and you know what? I congratulate him for that. Not a lot of superstars take the time to actually do that for the kids. I just think that his characters became stale. Like after 10 plus years of doing almost the same thing, it just stalled out for me, man. But do I think he's a great person? Absolutely. Do I cheer for him when I go to events? Absolutely not. The Legacy of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This has a bunch of his promos, especially his feud with Mr. McMahon. This is a 3-disc set. It talks about his beginnings in the wrestling business to when he got injured by Owen Hart. May he rest in peace. And until his last match, I think, with The Rock at WrestleMania 19. Guys, we're going down to the wire here. We're almost finished, guys. The Best of SmackDown 10th Anniversary. This is actually a solid DVD, guys. It actually comes in about 3 discs here. You guys pull them out. Here we go. Bunch of great matches on here. It has the return of Hogan. It has the Dudley Boys on here. It has the debut of John Cena. You can't go wrong with this, man. Wrestling history. These compilations like this is great to get. If you guys want to get individual pay-per-views, at least get these. You know? Alright. We're going to leave the Blu-rays for last. I think those are the best ones. Alright, guys. Here we go. SummerSlam. This is when The Rock returned, and he decided to stay with the WWF during the Invasion angle. Great pay-per-view. He won the WCW title here from Booker T. SummerSlam, Rock versus Brock. This is when Brock Lesnar was dominating the WWE in his first year. And then at SummerSlam, the main event, he beat The Rock for the WWE title. You know, what do you guys think? Would we ever see a Rock-Brock 2? Now that Brock Lesnar's with the company more? I mean, sure, he's a part-timer. But The Rock hasn't had a match since WrestleMania 29. What do you guys think? You think these two are going to match up one more time? Let me know down in the comments down below. One of my favorite DVDs, D-Generation X. Shawn Michaels and Triple H. These guys were awesome back in that day, man. I mean, Shawn Michaels, of course, he had that drug problem and drinking problem that he had. But, I mean, I'm glad that he's sobered up now and he's a role model for a lot of people. But back in these days, these guys ran wild, man. The Click, you know, if everybody wants to two-sweet me right now, go ahead and do it. Bam, you got two-sweeted. This pay-per-view here holds a special place in my heart because this is the first wrestling event I ever went to. And it was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it was Armageddon. The main event here was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. The 2 out of 3 falls match. And, you know, Triple H won that night and Shawn Michaels was the champ. This is the only time in the, let's see, how many years was Shawn Michaels wrestling when he came back? 2002 to, I think, 2010, I believe it was. In the 8 years that Shawn Michaels was back with the company, he was only world champion 1 time. You know, fact check me. And if I'm wrong, leave a comment down below. This match was great, man. These guys know how to tell a story in the ring. At the end of the match, Triple H went up, grabbed the world title, which is the title I have right here, and held it up high, man. These guys gave an awesome match. And before the pay-per-view started, we had Jeff Hardy versus Dillo Brown. When Jeff Hardy came out, I went with my good friend at the time. And, man, we had a blast, man. I mean, thanks to him and his dad. He's Romeo. He's actually a wrestler now. I'll leave a link to his channel down below. Man, great pay-per-view. I'll always have it in my heart. WWF Armageddon. WWE, rather. This is not a WWE pay-per-view or a WWE wrestling DVD. It's called Road to Glory. Basically, it's a story of John Cena when he was the prototype. You know, in FCW. This also has Samoa Joe. It has The Miz. It has the Road Warriors. You know, a bunch of these people, up-and-comers, that today are big superstars. How they trained and where they wrestled in the independents. It also has Christopher Daniels on here. If you guys like TNA. I don't follow TNA much, so I don't know much about it. The only thing I know about TNA right now is Delete and Brother Nero. Check that angle out, man. That stuff is great. Road to Glory. Alright. This is no, this is not the last DVD. We're almost done. This is WrestleMania 23 in the tin edition. Okay? Hard stuff. Donald Trump was in this WrestleMania. You know, he accompanied Bobby Lashley out to battle Umaga, God rest his soul, and it was a hair versus hair match. And if Umaga lost, Mr. McMahon would have to shave his head. But if Bobby Lashley lost, then Donald Trump would have to shave his head. Believe me, Mr. McMahon did not lose. Actually, he did lose. He got his head shaved bald. And then Stone Cold gave a Stone Cold Stunner to that son of a bitch, Donald Trump, in the middle of the damn ring. Sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. WrestleMania 23, guys. Check it out. It's a great pay-per-view. Put it back in my tin here. No Way Out, Most Wanted. This past weekend, it was Eddie Guerrero's birthday. This pay-per-view here was the one that he beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. And man, you know, when he won this title, you know, when I was younger, I wanted to become a wrestler. And I wanted to train. Right now, I have a family and I have a career that I have to hold up. But one day, guys, one day, I might even catch it on video of me going back into pro wrestling. When he won this title, it made me think, man, if Eddie Guerrero could win the WWF title, or WWE title at the time, I can win the WWE title. I can be that top level star. I mean, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world. He wasn't the tallest guy in the world. I'm not a tall guy, man. I'm just sitting on a high chair. Okay, my feet don't even hit the ground. Stop laughing back there, because you know it's true. Okay? Great pay-per-view. Listen, I gotta edit this later, man. Don't do it. WWF Invasion. The Invasion angle was a cool concept. It wasn't executed properly. Because you had these guys from WCW that were jobbers. Most of them were jobbers that came over, except for Booker T. That came over to invade the WWF. And in my mind, I'm like, well, okay, so these guys are going to come invade and do what? You know, so I think that's the reason they introduced ECW to form the alliance. Because ECW had at least a bigger known roster than the guys that WWF acquired from the WCW purchase. That's just my opinion. Survivor Series 2002. Another one of my great little bootlegs. I think this is the only other one I have. This pay-per-view introduced the Elimination Chamber. This is when Shawn Michaels became the world champion for the first and last time. Alright, guys. Home stretch. We're going to go ahead and reveal the Blu-rays now. Best of SmackDown vs. Raw. This is a Blu-ray disc that came out, I believe, with the release of one of the SmackDown games on the 360. Very cool. It has a few matches on here that are very interesting. That's all it really is. And it has a behind-the-scenes look of the making of SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. So, there you go. Ultimate Collection Goldberg. Basically, this is a compilation of his best matches, if you can call them matches. I mean, the guy came in, speared you, jackhammered you, bam, you were out. That's it. That's all it was. But at least it has a match here with Hogan when he won the WCW title. I mean, Goldberg was the only superstar that WCW made, that they grew and basically made. I mean, they didn't make anybody else, maybe except for Booker T and Scott Steiner, you know. But the biggest superstar that they produced was Goldberg. This is no particular order. WrestleMania 28. This WrestleMania also holds a special place in my heart because I'm from Miami, Florida, and I went to this WrestleMania. So I saw the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Triple H and Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. I saw The Rock versus John Cena live. You know, I saw CM Punk defending the WWE title against Chris Jericho. Man, this WrestleMania, I mean, to me, you know, there's some events that I think you should go to while you're still here. And I think WrestleMania is one of them. Like, we should all go to a Super Bowl. We should all go to a finals, NBA Finals game. And we should all go to a WrestleMania. So I can't wait for WrestleMania for this year. It's going to be in Orlando. I already booked my hotel. I can't wait to do the whole 3-4 hour drive up there to see it. What do you guys think the main event at WrestleMania is going to be next year? I think we're going to see I don't really particularly like Brock Lesnar's match. I think it's the same thing. He takes everybody to Suplex City and doesn't check them out. This is Triple H, Thy Kingdom Come. Great documentary. I think Triple H's story is very interesting as how he broke into the business. He wasn't a straight edge superstar like CM Punk is, but he was very disciplined and he knows the ins and out of the business. So if you guys want to check out this documentary right here, it's a documentary plus a compilation of his best matches. Go ahead and check it out, guys. I really highly recommend it. And if you have the WWE Network, remember, it's $9.99 a month. You can go ahead and actually check it out. This is the example from FYE. I got this Blu-ray for about $5. It's You Think You Know Me, the story of Edge. Edge is another one who had a crazy up and coming into the WWE. Him and Christian actually went to high school together. They weren't brothers, even though when I was a kid, I'm like, oh man, they look alike. They were not brothers at all. They're actually best friends from high school that trained together. They broke into the business together. And I mean, it was a shame when he retired. But again, I'd rather see someone retire before them getting hurt. So, I mean, the story of Edge, one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. WrestleMania 27. The host was The Rock. Now, in my opinion, this WrestleMania was great because of the Undertaker Triple H match. The Rock being there was a bonus. I mean, it was great. But that main event, though, with the Miz and John Cena, I mean, I feel sorry for The Miz because The Miz was not the story here. The Rock and John Cena was. The Miz was just the third wheel. That's all he was in this WrestleMania. But either way, it was good. Not the best, but go ahead and check it out. WrestleMania 26. You guys will remember this WrestleMania as the WrestleMania where Shawn Michaels put his career on the line against The Undertaker, and he lost. Great match. Match of the night. I mean, if you guys want to see a story being told in the ring, watch the Shawn Michaels and Triple H match on this pay-per-view. One Night Stand, D-Generation X. This is a Blu-ray compilation disc with the documentary of D-Generation X when they came back together, their moments, segments, whatnot. Go ahead and show it. Those nice green discs you have there. This is a great one, guys. I mean, D-Generation X to me, one of my favorite groups. NWO was alright, but I loved D-Generation X. The true story of WrestleMania. Basically, this is a documentary of how Vince McMahon thought what WrestleMania should be and how he came up with it and the process and what WrestleMania was to what WrestleMania is today. So if you guys like those documentaries, look in the inside of how Vince McMahon thought. Go ahead and check this Blu-ray out. Randy Orton, The Evolution of a Predator. Pretty good. It tells his career from when he broke into the business. He's a third generation superstar. From when he went to Evolution and then until he broke off on his own. Very interesting, compilation. Randy Orton, he admits that at the beginning of his career he was not, the most mature guy in the world, but once you see this, it's like, man, Randy Orton's actually a pretty cool guy. So go ahead and check it out, guys. You'll see a whole different side of Randy Orton here. One of my favorite guys. I mean, I can't mark off to The Rock all that much now. The Rock, the epic journey of Dwayne Johnson. Great documentary. He tells the story of how he broke into the business. The Rock is also a third generation superstar. How he broke in, his matches, what he had to do to reinvent himself. I see this documentary and I see, let's open it up here so you can see this. I see this documentary and I see what's going on with Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns, to me, he's a good worker. He knows how to work in the ring. But he has a problem when he's trying to... he has a problem identifying who he is. Is he a badass dude? Or is he the guy who tries to, work for the fans or tries to be there for the fans? He has heel tactics. Who is Roman Reigns? And I think that's the problem that he has. And I don't think it's entirely his fault. I think the writers at the WWE are writing all his stuff for him and telling him, hey, Roman, listen, you're going to do this tonight. I need you to hit these points. And The way a superstar is made is when you let them go. Hey man, go out there and do something. Say something. We're going to give you 5 minutes. Just be yourself. That's what happened to The Rock. That's what happened to Stone Cold. That's what happened to CM Punk. CM Punk, before the pipe bomb, was practically nobody. He was a good wrestler. Everybody liked him. But he was nobody. Nobody would go to an arena to say, man, I'm going to go see CM Punk. No. The WWE said, hey, listen, Punk, we're going to give you 10 minutes of airtime. We're going to give you a microphone. Go out there and say whatever you want. And Punk said, oh, okay. He went out there and delivered one of the best promos we've ever seen, I think ever. So go ahead and check that out. It's actually on YouTube. CM Punk's pipe bomb. That's how you make a superstar. Maybe, well, who knows? Let Roman Reigns have the mic for 5 minutes. Let's see what he really has to say. That whole, hey man, hide your beef thing with Rusev was the greatest stuff I've seen on TV in recent memory. WrestleMania 29. This is the rematch between The Rock and John Cena. It wasn't all that great. Actually, The Rock actually got injured in this match. He tore his pectoral muscle, I think. And then you had CM Punk versus The Undertaker. Great match. I think if CM Punk would have taken the streak here, he probably would have stayed with the company. You know, he would have thought, man, the company's really behind me. Other than that, you had Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. Triple H will make anybody look good. Except for this year's WrestleMania. I didn't think the match with him and Roman was all that great. But a good WrestleMania, I mean, no. Winding down, guys. The Undertaker 20-0. This was released before The Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar. Great. This is a compilation of all his 20 matches at WrestleMania. Go ahead and check it out. WrestleMania 25, the anniversary edition. 25th anniversary of WrestleMania includes the Hall of Fame in here as well. This is the first time that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels went at it. Shawn Michaels came out with that amazing entrance, him thinking he was God. So if you guys want to go ahead and check this one out, it's a great WrestleMania. Guys, the last one I have here, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bottom line, the most popular superstar of all time. This is a Blu-ray compilating his feud with Mr. McMahon, The Rock. It has a bunch of matches with Bret Hart himself. I think they even talk about what's his face now? Brian Pillman on this here. Go ahead and check it out, guys. It's really good. It's all in HD and HD glory. Stone Cold talks about how he started in the business, what got him into it. Just a great Blu-ray. Alright guys, I think I've talked enough. So this is my WWE collection. Remember guys, tomorrow, October 11th, WWE 2K17 comes out. Go ahead and pre-order so you can play as Goldberg. Hit me up on PlayStation and Xbox One. I'll see you guys later on another episode of the Gaming Armadillo. Do it.